Okay, hi, I'm Colin Coleman, the co-chairman of the Youth Employment Service, distinguished fellow at INSEAD and a former partner at Goldman Sachs. It's wonderful to be with you today at the RISE People's Convention, and I'm sorry I can't be there in person. All social democrats who want to see social democracy and non-racialism thrive in South Africa know that today we have a socioeconomic crisis, one that we all are going to have to take careful stock and work deliberately to address the problems. These problems really have two particular faces I want to talk about today. The one is the rise in crime in South Africa with organized crime syndicates running rampant, the lack of policing, lack of prosecution, and lack of consequence. And the second is our thriving unemployment and inequality, which is outpacing any attempts to address it at this point in time. So we have to ask the question, how are we going to address these twin threats to our democracy? Rampant crime, rampant unemployment. In a recent article I wrote for the Sunday Times, I suggested that in order for us to create the necessary 5 million jobs over the next decade to turn the situation around, there are 4 areas that we as South Africans are going to have to address. Firstly, we're going to have to expand production and economic investment. And the ways in which we're going to have to do this are by introducing around-the-clock production, 24/7, in which the employment opportunities in the factories, in the mines, on the shop floor, expand in shifts so that we get more people into work benefiting from incomes. Secondly, that we need to work our economic assets harder, effectively eliminate significant amount of the red tape that is preventing us from expanding businesses, and fixing backbone logistics to position South Africa as a hub for manufacturing, for tourism and technology. A package of attractive economic investments is going to have to be presented to the largest companies in the world to attract them to South Africa and the region to manufacture and assemble for the time zone. And we're going to have to mobilize an employment strategy, including internships like the Youth Employment Service Program, state programs, and reforms to labor markets whilst respecting workers' rights and promoting business activity. Secondly, an economic stimulus is necessary for South Africa to get our growth moving above the population growth rates towards 5% per annum. And our SME sector, particularly at the micro enterprises, needs a boost and a helping hand. To do this, I suggested specifically a 5,000 Rand once-off grant per annum for micro enterprises to help them with their purchasing power and to get the means to drive businesses, remembering that many people work in these 2.5 million businesses, micro enterprises. And the same for SMEs. We need to assist them in every way possible. At the same time, we have to support the social welfare net, and we certainly must, in the foreseeable medium term, keep on providing the 350 Rand per month SRD grant that provides 8 million people at the moment with social relief and the necessary stability, without which a socioeconomic revolution would be assured. Thirdly, we need to really think about the workplace contract between employers and employees and make the delta, the difference between the highest paid executives and those on the ground floor narrower. It doesn't mean that we don't pay our top executives, but it means that we need to narrow the gap between the incomes. We also need to revisit the Black economic empowerment regulations and fine-tune them so that we get greater incentives for broad-based empowerment and less for enrichment of a few. Fourth, and lastly, no economic plan will work without us turbocharging the state institutional capacity, in particular fixing the transport and energy infrastructure and partnering with the private sector to build, operate, and maintain the assets. Progress is being made here with the government-business partnership, and it's important that they are successful. I would call for a mobilization of an army of private sector individuals, 10,000 experts into a centrally run capacity in the state that can be deployed into our hospitals, into our schools, into our police force, into our important institutions which need such expertise of all types, lawyers, accountants, professionals, and that we can use this expertise to strengthen the capacity of the state to deliver, also to combat crime and to promote our economic activities. In conclusion, it is critical for all social democrats who want to see a social democracy, a non-racial country that works for everybody to help uplift the quality of life of all South Africans, to work together on this plan, to innovate and to steady the course for the future of our beloved nation. Thank you.